it's just a little too hot in here. Ugh, it's kind of hot. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm very happy to have you. Welcome. I hope you stick around for a little bit. As you can tell by the title below, I'm going to be talking about my experience at Chick-fil-A. I just want to put a big disclaimer out there. I do know that a lot of my coworkers, ex-coworkers follow me, so I'm not gonna be talking down on Chick-fil-A the whole time. Well, okay. I'm not gonna be talking bad about the company like at all. I'm just gonna be sharing my experiences there because 2.5 years is a really long time and there's bound to have something in that time that happened to me. Chick-fil-A is a wonderful company. It taught me a lot about work skills. It gave me the customer service that I have now. It also taught me a lot about life, honestly. Like, they gave me like really good life experiences. Whenever I went into work, I wasn't just learning how to work, I was learning how to be a better person in life. I also acquired lifetime friends that I still talk to till this day, but I loved all of the operators that I had. They're great people, great families, great people to work with. They know how to run a business. No hard feelings to anyone that I used to work with at Chick-fil-A. This is just kind of me talking about my experiences. Yeah, so let's get started. So basically, as I said before, I worked at 3 different locations. I'm not going to tell you where I worked, which ones I worked at. I started working at Chick-fil-A in June of 2014. It was my first real job. My friend Sydney told me sophomore year that I should apply to Chick-fil-A. And so I went in there and I saw her working. She gave me an application, I turned it in. I ended up getting a call back. So basically I had 2 interviews that I went to. My first one was a group interview and I was sitting in the lobby waiting. In Chick-fil-A they have like little signs on the walls and one of them is like where Chick-fil-A originated, how True and Kathy made Chick-fil-A. We go into the interview, all 3 of us girls, and they ask us, what do y'all know about Chick-fil-A? So the first girl went, then it was my turn. And it was like so embarrassing because I was like,
well, I know that Chick-fil-A opened in 19 whatever, and it was first called the Door Cafe, and blah, blah, blah.
And they were just like,
okay, next question.
I was like so embarrassed. I ended up getting called back for another interview with the general manager and he liked me. I got hired. Like, that interview was like 5 minutes long, I think. I don't remember my first day, but that's because my second day was so eventful that it's the only day that I remember. I remember it was kind of busy. I guess it's low blood pressure. I get dizzy really easy whenever I stand up too fast. I was taking someone's order. You know that feeling whenever you stand up too fast, you kind of black out, I guess. That's bad to say. That's like really unhealthy, I feel like, but you know what I mean. Like, you get kind of like lightheaded and then it goes away. I think I had dropped something, so I went down to pick it up. Whenever I came back up, I got that little blackout sensation and I was used to it, like, oh, it's gonna go away, but it kind of just like lingered and it wasn't going away. And so then after that I started like sweating really bad, kind of getting nervous. Then I couldn't hear them. Y'all have been to Chick-fil-A, I'm pretty sure, like, you know how far the counter is from the person that's taking your order. You're pretty close to them. And so I was like, I'm so sorry, can you repeat yourself? I can't hear you, I'm sorry. And like, I was like going like that, like I couldn't hear, and they were like weirded out, like, why can't you hear me, you know? That blackout sensation was still there. The dad started to order and I remember him saying what he wanted. I didn't hear what he said and I said, okay. And then I fell onto the monitor and I passed out. Whenever I blacked out, I started dreaming. It was really scary, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it. Everything was black except for this little hill of grass, and there was a tire swing and the sun was like kind of beaming right there on it, and I was swinging on it, but I could see myself swinging on it. While I was dreaming, I remember telling myself in my dream, why are you asleep right now? Like, you're at work. Started opening my eyes and I was sitting at a table and the lobby lady, her name's Miss Rosa and I love her to death. She was holding me and like petting my hair, like petting my head, like telling me like it's gonna be okay. I look and there's people surrounding me and I can hear my manager on the phone.
I think she's 16. I think her name's Mia. She's new. I don't know.
It was embarrassing because no one knew my name, and she couldn't even tell the paramedics what my name was or how old I was because she didn't know. I don't blame her. I didn't talk to anyone while I was there. This lady, she kept asking me questions, and she was like,
What's your name? How old are you? Who's the president? What year it is? What's today's date?
and I remember telling her,
I know I don't have brain loss because I don't know what today's date is, but it's just because I don't keep up with the date.
it was so embarrassing. So I wasn't allowed to drive home. My neighbor had to come pick me up and drive me home. And once my parents got home, they drove me back to Chick-fil-A to pick up my car. My parents wanted Chick-fil-A, and so they went through the drive-thru. I was like,
No, I'm so embarrassed. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want them to see me. Like, please.
and they're like, no, like it'll be okay, they won't see you. I was like, oh my god. So I like laid down in the back seat of the car so no one would see me whenever we went through the drive-thru. I was known as the girl that passed out on her second day of work, basically. Then I decided to work at a different Chick-fil-A closer to my house that had just opened. I went to turn in my 2 weeks letter to the Chick-fil-A I was working at, and I didn't want to leave. I really didn't. Whenever I went to turn in my 2 weeks letter, I was like,
Hey, I really need to talk to you.
and so my manager took me to the office and he was like, you're quitting. And I just started bawling. Like, I started crying so hard. I'm so sensitive. I was just sad. So I was crying. I was like, I like just gave him my letter and let him read it because I couldn't talk. And so he was chill with it. So I went to my new Chick-fil-A. I started and I knew what I was doing. Like, I had worked there since June. Like, I know how to work, you know? All the people that worked at the new Chick-fil-A I was going to, they would just look at me like,
She thinks she knows everything, and she doesn't.
so everyone was super mean to me. No one liked me. It was really embarrassing. I didn't want to be there. It was sad. One manager really, really hated me. She always wanted to cause drama with me. She always wanted to like single me out, make me do stuff, which like I just kind of took it. I can't really do anything. And she hated me all the time. And whenever she was nice to me and let me do what I want, I would be like, are you sick? Like, are you sick? So basically in March of 2015, I quit. So I gave my 2 weeks letter to a manager that liked me, and he said no and ripped up my 2 weeks letter and threw it away. And he said, you're not quitting. I had already lined up another job, so I like really had to go. And so I taped my 2 weeks letter back together and taped it in the office, and he threw it away again, and I put it back up, and it's just he didn't want me to leave. So I thought that would be the end of my Chick-fil-A career. In July, I went back to my first Chick-fil-A. They basically welcomed me with open arms. I went for an interview. I didn't really get interviewed. I just kind of sat down and was like, hey, what's up? Like, how are you? There was new people there, but it was basically the people that I still worked with whenever I worked the first time. And we all were so close. Like, we worked so much that we were each other's best friends, and whenever we had a chance not to work, we would still hang out together, which caused a lot of drama because we seemed like the favorites and it was bad. We would all get in trouble all the time. While working at that Chick-fil-A, I made a Now I'm Mad video with my friends.
Why is it that when I stand here and say, I have an order for Steve, you just stare at me like I didn't say anything?
Posted it on Twitter and we tagged Chick-fil-A problems, and it got famous. Like, it got a lot of retweets and a lot of favorites. And this girl commented on it and was like, oh, so this is why we wait 5 minutes in the drive-thru, because y'all are inside making Now I'm Mad videos. We all basically like attacked this girl on Twitter, and our manager saw it and they were like, you are representing Chick-fil-A, like you can't talk to people like that on the internet, like this is wrong, like you need to delete it. So we had to delete our video. I worked there until April of 2016. I got up and left because there was a lot of stuff going on with my life at that time and I needed to move. So I didn't give them a 2 weeks. I did my last day and I moved to a different city to better myself and to better my life that I was living. And it was a very good decision to move. So whenever I moved, the town that I lived in had one Chick-fil-A. I applied there, but the thing is, I met the operator's son, and he told his dad about me. And so whenever I went in for my interview, they already knew who I was. And so they basically just hired me, and I worked the next day. It was very different. At my other Chick-fil-A, I was a team leader and a certified trainer, so I did everything by the book, and this new Chick-fil-A didn't, which kind of bothered me. And so I was just trying to help. Don't come into a new place and try to change stuff, because it's not gonna work. So basically everyone hated me. I have never in my whole entire life yelled at my manager before, and I had some yelling at that Chick-fil-A. I went off a bunch, and they went off on me a bunch, which like was very unprofessional of me, but I got to my breaking point, and it just was bad. It got so bad to the point where I was getting yelled at so much that I started having anxiety attacks at work. One was really bad, and I broke out in hives. That Chick-fil-A I didn't have the best experience at. I meant good the whole time I was there, but they just didn't like me. I think I might have gone a little overboard trying to incorporate the way that I work into the way that they're already used to working, and it just didn't work out for me. I called in sick, and I went to apply for jobs, and I got one. And so the next day, I was driving to Chick-fil-A to give them my letter of resignation. I was not going to give them a 2 weeks letter. I was just done. I was done. I couldn't do it. I thought that I worked at 4, and so I wanted to go in an hour early so the people that I worked with didn't see me. But I really worked at 3, and it was 3, and my manager was calling me asking where I was. And I was like, oh my God, like, I cannot believe that I'm supposed to be there right now and I'm not. This was the first time I've ever done this, but I no called, no showed. I didn't answer any of her phone calls, and I just didn't show up. 2 years of working there, that was the first time I did that. People used to do it all the time, so whatever. I was like, what are they gonna do, you know? The next day I went in with my letter. I walked into the Chick-fil-A, and I stood at the counter so I could go to the back, but I wanted to make sure it was okay that I went to the back, and literally everyone just and turned their heads at me, all my coworkers, and I was like, okay. And so I went to the back without asking, and I went to the office and I knocked on the office door, and my manager looked back at her computer screen and went like this, and her back was to me. And so I went in there, and she was like, what? And I told her, I was like, I came to give you this, and I guess she thought it would be like my doctor's note for being sick. It was my letter to quit. And she read it and she laughed, and she said, it doesn't even matter because I already fired you in the system. And I kind of explained to her why I did what I did, and she was like, well, it doesn't matter because you're fired. So I got fired from Chick-fil-A. That was the last time I worked there. I'm done with it. I could never go back. No matter how much I miss it or miss the people that I worked with, I would never work there. That's my experience at Chick-fil-A. I do miss it sometimes and wish that I could have stayed and made a little more of a career out of it. I really wanted to own my own Chick-fil-A in the future, but getting fired from it kind of ruined all my chances of that. It's a great job to have while you're in school during the summer. They give a lot of hours and they pay very well, so you make money. While I was there, I never had to worry about not having money. I always had money for gas, food, groceries, bills, whatever I needed. Having Chick-fil-A on a resume apparently looks good to other employees. People think highly of Chick-fil-A, which they should. It's a great company. The experience that I had isn't going to be the same for everyone else. So I don't want to discourage people from working there just because my experience wasn't the best throughout. But that's with any job. You should enjoy going to work. And if you're not enjoying going to work, then maybe you should start looking for another job. That's basically all I have to say for this video. It's really long and I'm really sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and go ahead and give it a like and a thumbs up. If you have any crazy experiences at Chick-fil-A, go ahead and comment down below, but they're a wonderful company. I do recommend working for them. I hope no one has hard feelings about this video because that wasn't my intention. I'm just trying to share my experience working there. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting everything that I do. So I'll see y'all next time with another video. Mwah. started dreaming. So, hell no. There's a bug. AJ is not home. I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I'm so